NASCAR fails, must see. NASCAR has failed. But why is this so? Have the problems resulted in something irreversible? Will teams abandon NASCAR? And what has recently overshadowed NASCAR? Will the 2023 season not be the same as the previous seasons? Many questions are expected to be raised, so let us find out the answers together on The Racing Rush. But before we dive into it, please make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss an update. Previously, it has been claimed that NASCAR teams are mulling over the possibility of competing in off-season exhibition races that are not sanctioned by NASCAR. This is a startling turn of events. But the France family has no plans to allow teams to conduct off-season races that are not sanctioned by NASCAR. Instead, they intend to schedule more Cup races, which will make the season even more challenging for teams. They have a full and total stranglehold on the lucrative stock car racing industry, and there is no way anyone will be able to break it. During a recent episode of the Pit Reporters podcast, veteran racing reporter Lee Spencer stated that the governing body of the sport might try to get around that by increasing the number of races on the schedule from the current 36 to 42, beginning in 2025, in order to boost the amount of money received from the media. What Spencer stated was, "It's likely that they'll need additional partners just to pony up the cash in order for this to be successful. It sounds like there will be a total of 42 races." He believes that they planned that into the new TV schedule in order to provide a slice of the pie to each and every one of their viewers. Fox and NBC are the companies that are currently in possession of the broadcasting rights for the top-level series of NASCAR. He has to add that over the past 10 years, he's not observed teams making as much of an effort to secure sponsorships. It seems like the tracks are not making as much of an effort to secure sponsorships either, and whatever they bring in his opinion, is icing on the cake, especially for the racetracks and the teams. However, over the course of the past 10 years, they have witnessed teams transition from working extremely hard to bring in sponsorship dollars to bringing in half-assed drivers that either write a check or bring a sponsor with them. In turn, this lowers the overall standard of the goods offered at the race course. Therefore, he kind of placed it back on the teams to find competent salespeople and marketing people so that they can go out and sell. Now let's get to know more about the France family's business model, which revolves around making money off of underfunded racing teams. The lucrative NASCAR TV contracts with Fox and NBC bring in $8.2 billion over the course of 10 years from 2015 to 2024, which breaks down to $820 million each year that's split between the tracks, the teams, and NASCAR. Although they are responsible for the majority of the costs associated with going racing practically every weekend, the teams only receive 25% of the total TV money. It's divided among all the teams. Well, the teams get $820 million divided by 36 cars times 25%, which comes out to $5.7 million per car per year. $820 million will go to the France and Smith families who own the tracks. 65% is $533 million divided by 38 events. That equals $14 million per event. What the France family gets out of NASCAR, $820 million. 10% of that would be $82 million in annual revenue. It costs competitive NASCAR teams at least $10 million per car per year, which means that the $4.3 million shortfall must be made up with sponsor money, which is growing tougher to obtain as the current government rushes the country towards a recession. The teams believe that the tracks are receiving a too high proportion of the pie, and they want to cut of the $14 million in television revenue that each track receives for each race. Tickets also can generate cash for tracks. If a track has an attendance of, say, 75,000 people and each ticket costs $100, then the track is making $7.5 million every race in addition to money from refreshments, race titles, and track signage. Around $30 million in combined income is generated by each race by the various circuits. They have invested amortized costs in the facility in addition to hiring a crew to manage the site by painting, mowing, administering, providing security, cleaning, taxes, and so on. It is estimated that the France family has a net worth of between $3 and $5 billion, but they hold the vast majority of the tracks, which, if sold, would fetch them many billions of dollars. If the France family were to sell NASCAR and all of its tracks, they would probably take home a windfall that's estimated to be between $50 and $100 billion. The race teams are threatening to hold their own competitions in the event that they do not receive a larger proportion of the profits from the new television arrangement that will begin in 2025. They say they'll do this during the offseason, but what about during the week? Do you really think that it's impossible? Yes, it is. Tony Stewart created the SRX series as a modest demonstration of what kinds of things are possible. Previously, it was stated that in order to make ends meet, NASCAR teams are thinking over whether or not to compete in exhibition races held outside of the regular racing season that is not sanctioned by NASCAR. The France family controls the majority of the earnings made through NASCAR, and they force the teams to compete on most weekends so that they may increase the number of tickets they sell and therefore increase their revenue. In the meantime, both teams are grasping for air. According to a report that was published by Adam Stern of Sports Business Journal, the Race Team Alliance, a coalition that includes the 36 NASCAR race teams with charters, has instructed the well-known marketing agency Wasserman to explore exhibition race opportunities both domestically and internationally. Will Pleasance, the managing director of the United States division of Wasserman, confirmed to SBJ that the company had been recruited to explore exhibition racing prospects, both domestically and abroad, via request for information proposal. The RTA is a coalition of NASCAR teams that get together to discuss challenges and opportunities within the sport. These teams gather under the auspices of the RTA, and membership's currently open to all 36 teams that are in possession of one of the sport's charters. In preparation for NASCAR's Future Rights cycle, for which formal talks are scheduled to begin at the beginning of 2023, Wasserman was already working with the RTA to assist the alliance in determining the value of its media presence. The exhibition exploration is an additional new component that Wasserman will receive as part of the acquisition. Moving further in the video, you should definitely know about the SRX racing schedule. Superstar Racing Experience released its full schedule for 2023. They had already said that they were working with ESPN to show all of their 2023 races as part of a new version of ESPN Thursday Night Thunder. The Stafford Motor Speedway will see SRX for the third time. Eldora Speedway will also be a part of the series again. The first time they raced there, Tony Stewart won the main race, but they did not go back in 2022. It will return in 2023. Lucas Oil Speedway is another track that'll be back. In 2021, Ernie Francis Jr. was the first person to win the race. In addition to these 3 tracks that are coming back, they added 3 new tracks. They'll go to Thunder Road Speed Bowl in Barrie, Vermont, Motor Mile Speedway in Radford, Virginia, and Berlin Raceway in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The first race of the series is on Thursday, July 13th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at the Stafford Motor Speedway in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. After tearing up the asphalt at the home of the SK Modifieds, SRX goes to Barrie, Vermont on July 20th to race at Thunder Road Speed Bowl. On July 27th, the tour goes south to the Motor Mile Speedway in Radford, Virginia, and then August 3rd, it goes north to the Berlin Raceway in Grand Rapids, Michigan. In the last 2 races, SRX goes off-road at Eldora Speedway in New Weston, Ohio on August 10th, and Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri, where the season ends. Don Hawk, the CEO of SRX, said that the company cut the schedule down from 42 tracks to just 6. They chose the 6 tracks they did from a list of 42 great places that really wanted to host an SRX race this summer. He then explained how they made the decision. When choosing the schedule, they gave the most weight to the tracks that have done well in the past hosting big-time events. He went on to say it was important for them to start the summer at Stafford Motor Speedway, which is in Bristol, Connecticut's backyard. Stafford and the Arute family did a great job, and the fact that ESPN was close by made the idea of home games very exciting. SRX's first trip to Thunder Road in Vermont will be great. The fans there are amazing, and they can't wait for racers from all over the country to see how great that place is. Finally, having 2 dirt races in a row at the end of the season will test how flexible the driver is. Eldora is a world-class facility, and they know they're getting the best with Tony Stewart. Having their championship at the Lucas Oil Speedway in Missouri is a great way to end a busy and interesting summer schedule in 2023. So which track are you looking forward to watching this coming season? Let us know in the comment section below. And that's it for today's video. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more of our videos on NASCAR updates.